The trailer for the live action Powerpuff Girls series leaked online, and it's one of the funniest things I have ever seen in my life. Let's get into it. Okay, so a lot of videos talking about this trailer that featured footage or the trailer itself has been taken down and got taken down rather quickly. So I'm gonna play it safe. I don't have any footage, but I did get some still images here and there just to kind of throw into this video sporadically to kind of give you an idea of what this thing looks like. But oh man, this thing is rough. It's really bad. And not even so bad it's good, it's just bad. But oh my god, I couldn't stop laughing at what I was looking at. And as it kept going, I was almost like trying to figure out if it was real or not. That's how bizarre this thing looked. When the CW announced that they'd be doing this, before a single frame or shot was shown of this thing, the internet pretty much collectively hated the idea of this thing's existence. And when those set photos dropped and synopses started coming out, the hate grew even more. What was this? Who was it for? Those questions were only strengthened when this thing leaked, because this didn't resemble anything of the source material at all. Now, look, here's the thing, okay? I am never one to bemoan a thing of reimagining of something, right? If you want to like put a new creative twist on something, hey, that's fine. Go ahead and flex your vision, okay? This is all about creativity, and that's what you should do, is be creative. But it can't be this. This was ridiculous. This resembled nothing of what the Powerpuff Girls are. If anything, it's just the Powerpuff Girls because they're color-coded like the Powerpuff Girls, and they have the names. So the trailer opens up, and it kind of tickles your lizard nostalgia brain, right? Because it opens up with a narration from the original animated show narrator.
The day is saved from the Powerpuff Girls by the Powerpuff Girls.
Kind of makes you go, ooh, okay, a thing I remember from the Powerpuff Girls. Okay, let's go. And of course, it introduces us to Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. Though, I don't feel right calling them those names because they're really only those characters by name only. None of, from the trailer at least, none of them resemble any of the girls. They might as well be named Rose, Suds, and Butterscotch, for all I care, okay? Because these are not the Powerpuff Girls. Blossom here most closely resembles Blossom from the cartoon, with the studiousness and everything. Buttercup definitely does not. Buttercup in the cartoon had an attitude, right? She didn't care, and she was like really like hard-headed and had a I don't care attitude. But she wasn't self-righteous this way. Buttercup would have not have acted like this. And then Bubbles, we all know Bubbles, right? Bubbles is sweet and innocent. And they made her like a drunk party girl in this. Because, haha, she was innocent in the cartoon. Isn't that a funny misdirection? No, it's not. That's another thing that this trailer seemed to have about it that just really bothered me is, as far as it could go for a CW show, it was trying to be hyper edgy by making the girls all so abrasive in comparison to their cartoon counterparts. And I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of TV shows doing that. Trying to be so hyper edgy because they think, oh, you know what? That's what comedy is. That's what's gonna make this funny. Because Bubbles was innocent, being a drunken party girl that can barely stand up. It's gonna be so funny. Because that's not how she was. There's no joke in that. It's just obnoxious. The girls' personalities and the way that they were portrayed in the trailer is probably the most egregious change. But there are a lot of another unnecessary changes that I could glean from the trailer too. The most egregious of the other unnecessary changes was the changing of Mojo Jojo. So they didn't go for an anthropomorphic ape man with a big brain. They changed it to a tech billionaire bro named Mojo and his son Jojo. And apparently in the trailer, Mojo gets we'll say ended, it seems like, and his son Jojo grows up, and it looks like he and Blossom were gonna have like a romance thing. Why? Look, this is a CW, okay? If it had looked goofy, I think we would have forgiven it. We all saw the Planet of the Apes in the 1970s, right? You couldn't do that. You couldn't put like an ape mask on somebody, put some CG stuff on it so it would move more and like get the original voice actor or something. Like, I don't understand why you felt you needed to make that much of a departure from the Powerpuff Girls' most iconic villain, arguably. It's so stupid. There's a line in this trailer where the girls are talking about the original show, and Butterscotch makes a comment about how the original show race swapped them, implying that this show has like a negative feeling towards the source material, which begs the question of like, furthermore, who was this for, and why would you bother making this the Powerpuff Girls if you were gonna make fun of the Powerpuff Girls? If the content of the show itself wasn't bad enough, it also just looks terrible. The way it's shot, the lighting, the coloring, it looks ugly. Like, after I watched it, I tried taking massive amounts of copium and tried to convince myself it's a Tim and Eric sketch or something. That's how bad this looks. But no, it was real, and I'm so glad that they called it off. Now, it probably would have been more appropriate to mention this at the top of the video, but I was in fact a Powerpuff Girls kid, right? I think it's one of my first memories of the idea of superheroes, right? And to this day, it's remained a thing. And thinking back on it, I think it was one of the first things I saw alongside Batman the Animated Series that really showed me just the awesomeness of superheroes and like what they're capable of, and it just made me fall in love with the genre of superheroes. And this had no semblance of that genre at all. Again, it was all just in name. The CW gets memed on and made fun of all the time for their superhero content, right? Because of the quality of it. And when they cut this off, when they canceled it before it could come out, everyone had forgotten about it. And now it's so unfortunate for them that this trailer leaked, because it shows exactly what they had in mind. If this had come out, if it actually had aired, this would have been the last straw for people, I think. I think this would have made people go, okay, CW, hang up the cape. You don't know what you're doing. Go away. Never touch this material again. Because that's how bad this was. That's how separated from the actual source material this was. And CW, I think you really need to take a step back and reevaluate what makes a good superhero show and what makes it funny. No one wants this to be hyper edgy. Look, if you wanted to make a live action Powerpuff Girls series, fine. If you wanted to make it funny, if you wanted to age them up, fine. But there was no reason to make the girls also abrasive and so obnoxiously so. There was no reason for that. There was no reason to make any of these changes that completely separates from the story. You might as well not even call it Powerpuff Girls. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even think I need to ask, what did you think of this trailer? Because what is everyone going to think of this trailer? It's bad, right? There's no point in asking that, because I think this thing is pretty universally hated, right? There's no debate on how this could have been good or not. But what we can talk about is, what did you think of the Powerpuff Girls back in the day? Were you a big fan? Were you not a big fan? Let's talk everything Cartoon Network, Powerpuff Girls, and superheroes down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. For better or for worse. Take care.